you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old, because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
The FBI is finally looking into the alleged murder of Aaron Carter. The details of Aaron Carter's murder have creepy similarities with the death of Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter.
Aaron Carter begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not vital. And no one said anything.
Developing news tonight. Pop star Aaron Carter.
They go to something like it.
The 34-year-old was found dead.
Has died at the age of 34.
Authorities say he was found in his bathtub.
He had been grappling with substance abuse for years.
I mean, this is my first podcast interview ever.
What?
I was Aaron's twin. We have our own bond. I'm just at a place now where I want to tell our truth, change the narrative for my family. We were just such like playful kids. There was the 5 of us. There was a lot of love. Nick, he was discovered by my mom in the backyard. Oh my gosh, like he can sing. That's how he joined the Backstreet Boys. Aaron really idolized Nick. He wanted to be exactly like him. At age 7, he started singing. Working like an adult, innocence stripped away from him. Things were really chaotic at home. No boundaries. Divorce was like brewing. And then we all got into
When 50 Cent releases a documentary that drags long-buried truths into the light, the conversation instantly shifts from rumor to reckoning. What once lived in whispers is forced into public view, raising uncomfortable questions about why these stories were delayed and who benefited from the silence. By tracing Aaron Carter's meteoric rise and tragic collapse alongside the unchecked power surrounding Diddy, the film doesn't just revisit the past. It interrogates it. It challenges viewers to look beyond what was known and confront who chose not to act. With familiar faces like Justin Bieber appearing across overlapping timelines, the documentary reveals a far larger pattern, an industry that protected influence while muting vulnerability. This isn't a story of isolated mistakes or individual downfall. It's an indictment of a system that repeatedly chose reputation over truth. And if the warning signs were always there, the final question lingers uncomfortably in the air. Why did it take so long for anyone to connect the dots and demand accountability?
Your father and losing him, and then yet earlier you acknowledged that your father had put a to your head and fired it.
Sean Diddy Combs has been swimming in both criminal and civil law.
What? Wow. Talking about a transition. Man.
Ever since he got indicted, and the storm doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. Recently, another wave of accusations has just been leveled at him, this time a staggering 25 lawsuits alleging inappropriate relationships with younger individuals. And while the whispers about his past connections with Justin Bieber and Usher during their early careers have been making rounds in the past months, a new shocking name has entered the conversation: Aaron Carter. Aaron, who allegedly first met Diddy at just 9 years old, is now being linked to allegations that have sparked heated discussions.
When 50 Cent builds his documentary around what was intentionally concealed, he's not rehashing old rumors. He's reconstructing timelines and exposing how critical moments were quietly wiped from public memory. In this film, silence becomes its own form of evidence, pushing viewers to question why key stories were stalled, who shaped the narrative, and how unchecked power was allowed to thrive in the dark.
You've heard it all. Another layer of darkness gets peeled back. With the way things are unfolding for Diddy, this might just turn into the scandal of the century.
Aaron Carter! I just want to make everyone happy and just love and do my music. Do you honestly think that that's the depth?
You know, I know who Aaron Carter is, but I don't at the same time. I forgot what it was that he actually did. But I believe he came from one of those, was it like a Disney show or something like that? I believe so. Because he has a brother, yeah.
Finishing up a meth head and a crackhead, teaching my niece her first dance moves, making music on my bed.
Aaron Carter was once the golden boy of pop, a wildly talented child star whose meteoric rise to fame was nothing short of remarkable. He was only 9 years old when he dropped his self-titled debut album, captivating audiences everywhere and securing his spot as one of the biggest child stars to ever grace the music industry. Carter was tipped to do great things and have a long, successful career, but as bright as his star burned, it faded just as fast. Fame at such a young age can take its toll, but there was so much more that contributed to the downfall of Aaron's career. Several insider sources have suggested that Aaron may have been a victim of manipulation and the top.
By revisiting the rise and collapse of child stardom, the film positions Aaron Carter not as a fleeting headline, but as a stark case study of exposure without protection. His talent was amplified, his image celebrated, yet the support systems meant to safeguard him were nowhere to be found. And if silence is never neutral, the documentary presses an unsettling question. Who stood to gain by allowing that silence to endure for so long?
Holding up.
I'm doing good, man.
You doing good?
Yeah, staying strong. It's been 8 months of a lot of turmoil and back and forth. But at this point, I think that I've got it under control. I'm doing everything that I need to do, and just focusing on my music, which is what I love. It's my passion, and really just taking care of my aftercare, and
which consists of what? The care. You're doing what you have to do. So what does that mean to you?
Basically, a lot of people in the news, there's hundreds of posts from media, and they all said, that I'm 165 pounds, and when I checked into rehab last time, I was 117, same weight that Michael Jackson died at, actually. And
117 pounds.
Yeah. I got my weight up and I kept it the whole time. I've managed to turn my life around. I'd be able to purchase houses, flip houses, be a real estate mogul, do touring after all the...
So you're buying and flipping houses, huh?
Yeah.
And I see that this one is
for sale right now.
Is up for sale. This one's up for sale.
Yeah, so Christy Olympus is she's like my big sister. But she's my real estate agent. She got me to my first house, which is only like about a mile away from here.
Yeah.
And then flipped that one from $420 to $620, got $200,000 profit. I bought this one.
Aaron Carter's ascent began before he had any real protection in an industry that profits from youth while postponing accountability. The documentary contrasts his early fame with his unraveling stability, revealing how access often masquerades as opportunity until it slowly turns into dependence. The message is unflinching. When a child's value is defined by performance, warning signs are brushed off as pressure instead of recognized as danger, forcing viewers to face the moment ambition overrides responsibility and protection is traded for success.
What's going on with that? They look at the they look at the stuff. They look at this right here, bro. First and foremost, all the companies that you have, you understand, and I know some people have trust and have companies in their kids' name. This man never put anything in his name. Why? It's either his mother, his son, his kid's name and everything like that. He had 18 companies that was giving him some kind of revenue. Why is nothing really in his name? Is there some kind of tax evasion? They looking at that. You understand? You got people in the industry that's been saying for years, this man is having sex with underage. So now the federal government is looking at that like, yo, when is somebody gonna come forward? We got this information, this alleged information, but nobody's willing to come forward. Then they go on and say, yo, Shakur Stewart mysteriously dead. Supposed to be a self-inflicted wound. person that had everything going for them in their life. Kim Porter, dead. Somebody's car gets blown up. This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, didn't have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, you know, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of like suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and you know they're making a lot of allegations.
Same way they made allegations about Usher.
The film repeatedly circles back to proximity, who remained closest to the decision makers and who controlled the gates to opportunity, revealing that influence is rarely accidental. Diddy is presented not as a final judgment, but as a recurring presence threaded through mentorships, social circles, and status. Instead of making direct accusations, the documentary charts relationships, exposing how power often moves through informal networks rather than official roles. And if responsibility lives in the spaces between titles and authority, the film ultimately challenges institutions to reckon with how accountability can truly be identified.
MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce. You still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff, my whole life, that was going to be taken away from me.
The FBI is finally looking into the alleged murder of Aaron Carter. The details of Aaron Carter's murder have creepy similarities with the death of Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter.
Aaron Carter begged for her in front of the world. He begged for financial support.
One of the documentary's most unsettling threads traces Aaron Carter's repeated attempts to reach out for help. These moments aren't framed as spectacle or collapse, but as quiet, unflinching records of fear, isolation, and a dawning realization that something was deeply wrong, and that the threat was far closer than anyone wanted to admit.
He died from that pneumonia.
Yes.
You know, just like Kim, just like Brittany Murphy. That pneumonia ain't no joke. Hey, every time somebody get to telling the truth about someone, whoever's been lying, they just say a little prayer and then the pneumonia comes.
Real life. It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Oh no, it's all good. But Uncle Ron, Beyonce's ex-bodyguard, who threatened to expose them. Yeah, threatened to expose them. I believe in 2023. Is deceased. He's passed away.
Allegedly, that's what they are saying.
Allegedly, that is what they are saying. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they said he died from that pneumonia.
Yes.
You know, just like Kim, just like Brittany Murphy. That pneumonia ain't no joke. Hey, every time somebody get to telling the truth about someone, whoever's been lying, they just say a little prayer and then the pneumonia comes, and then yeah. A lot of people been getting that pneumonia. I'm surprised they didn't try to say that Liam.
The story's moral burden doesn't rest on one person, it's shared by all. Audiences watched as platforms amplified the moments, yet meaningful intervention never came, revealing a system where suffering was visible to millions without triggering real protection. When distress is broadcast so openly and so widely, the documentary leaves viewers with an uncomfortable question. who is truly responsible for stepping in and taking action.
But you know, he went over that balcony. But the thing is, they say he went on his own. But there's two other things that I considered as I speculate. This is all my speculation. None of this is true yet. But what if somebody told him he had to jump off?
Man.
What if he would have rather jumped and be pop-out?
Right.
You know? Or maybe imminent danger was there. And
it's alleged that
only escape.
Right. It's alleged that he had Tootsie.
Oh no, that's not alleged. That is a fact. There, Rook. It was found in his system in his autopsy. That's not alleged.
That's crazy.
The Tootsie, Yep.
Jack, Liam Payne, his fall. There's a lot of alleged things they're saying that happened.
On multiple levels, his fall.
There's a lot of speculations.
Personal life.
Right.
Health.
What is his ties to Diddy?
I mean, all of those kids from that era, even the British bands, they all partied with Diddy. I'm just... It's hard for me.
By widening its lens, 50 Cent's documentary links individual stories to a larger culture that quietly normalized minors in adult spaces. It shows how young performers were routinely ushered through corridors of influence where boundaries were presumed but seldom enforced. In doing so, the film exposes a system built on assumptions instead of safeguards, one that allowed vulnerability to linger inside environments designed to protect power, not people.
Invested in what's happening to Liam Payne right now because I haven't gotten over what happened to Nick. Nick's brother, Aaron Carter.
Right.
A lot of people keep forgetting Aaron Carter was begging for help, begging for independent financing, begging for security. He made it very clear Sony was out to get him, just like Michael Jackson told him they would be. And right around that time, his brother had just been accused of raping one of the girls from making the band, Diddy's entity. And they were trying to make all of that go away. And Aaron called his brother out. And then the next thing you know, he said, if anything happens to me, I did not do this to myself. And then he was gone, and they said he took his own life, just like they're saying about Liam Payne. Why doesn't anyone want to see the same thing happening over and over and over again? Because if Diddy is responsible for Liam Payne, then he is without a doubt responsible for Aaron Carter.
Shout out reality street stars, nigga. Move.
References to Justin Bieber are included not as accusations or comparisons, but as context, illustrating a recurring pathway the industry has carved out for young talent. And when the same patterns surface generation after generation, the documentary invites viewers to question whether they can really be brushed off as coincidence. The documentary frames silence as a system upheld by loyalty, fear, and the protection of reputation. It suggests that many adults surrounding young artists likely knew enough to remain quiet while later claiming ignorance. The result is a shared responsibility, one where no single figure is fully blamed, yet harm continues unchecked. And it forces a difficult truth into focus. When everyone knows something but says nothing, where does real accountability actually begin?
Footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
So they're saying it's his lawyers. How on earth did 50 Cent get a hold of footage of his lawyers? Now, one could say, isn't that privilege? How is this footage allowed? Now, you could also argue because someone's filming, there's other people there, you lose privilege. I've learned that in my appeals case. I have not filmed any of my legal meetings on purpose, because if you film it, well, then it gives up your privilege in a way. So I'm assuming that's how they're getting away with this, because he's filming conversations with his lawyers, whether they knew or not. That footage, now that it's gotten in the wrong hands, or I guess different hands, isn't a longer privilege. I want to get a lawyer on to sort of confirm it, but I gotta be honest, I'm kind of shocked. You'd think, well, this should all be included, should it not?
Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there. Y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is.
Like, the way he's bossing around these high-powered lawyers is so revealing.
Part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Oh, he's loving this.
Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
We knew that was coming, by the way, because we learned that throughout, as he was using his own kids to post birthday messages and etc. Like, this guy wants to control everything.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
He's like, oh yeah, look at all these. This was yeah, what's up? What is shaking hands? Yeah, I'll take this. He thrives in this. This is yeah, when people recognize him. What up? Like, barely anybody there. He's like, yeah, everybody's here looking at me. He's like the quarterback that can never graduate, it feels like to me.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
I've been in the streets amongst people. I gotta take a bath. He's like horrified. He's disgusted by it.
Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
A pivotal shift happens when rumor and speculation yield to formal process. Legal filings, professional reviews, and thorough investigations that had been absent for so long finally take shape.
$1,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, you know, one thing led to another, and I was like, yeah, all right, well then, you know, F you, you know, I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay, he determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you, because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit, and then they had Kirk Burrows giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim. You understand? And I was trying to get a deal for all three of us. You understand? So that's how them industry cats go. You know, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like this. So then he called me back again, and I told him, like, listen, man, don't you ever call my phone again, Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Because we had got into it about somebody calling him. He told me Groovy Lou called him and wanted to know why Gene's still doing this, the Puff and everything like that. And I mentioned it on the Gene Deal show. You understand? I said something. Then he called me back like I was lying. And listen to me, Kirk. Don't call me about what these clowns and these niggas say right here, bro. And especially don't call me talking about what I gotta fix, when in fact you know what you told me and you know what our conversation was. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing about why I'm not in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about. So that's why you don't see a cameo other than
the pictures they used of me on the film in the documentary. I got like 3 or 4 pictures in the documentary that I seen of myself. You know, some people say they saw more, but I know three different times where I was certain places that you could actually see me in the documentary, and that's the only thing you're gonna get. But the stories that they told in the documentary, bruh, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more. So I ain't in the documentary because that lady that was the director, I think, what's her name? Alex State.
The documentary shows why so few ever spoke up, exposing a reality where raising concerns came with heavy consequences, while silence protected careers and status. Against this backdrop, 50 Cent stands out, willing to face criticism and backlash, not from certainty, but from a refusal to accept why accountability had been delayed for so long.
I usually leave these things to the end of my interviews, but I really gotta say, rest in peace, Aaron Carter. Yeah. You actually called me the other day to break the news to me. Mm-hmm. And this is someone that we both interviewed multiple times. I was shocked. How did you feel when you heard the news?
Yeah, I was definitely shocked. But at the same time, I mean, I had interviewed him, I think maybe like a week and a half before he passed. I'm not sure, but it came out 3 days before he passed.
Huh.
And when he came in that time, he definitely was not in a great mental state. Like I remember you saying that you hadn't interviewed him for like over a year before he passed. It was the same thing with me where I was kind of interviewing him regularly, and then I didn't do it for a period of, I don't know, a year or two. And then I decided like, okay, he hit me up. I'm like, let's do it. I want to see how you're doing, check in. Came in to do the interview. It wasn't great. You know, he was drinking lean. And
he was drinking lean in the interview?
I mean, he tried to deny it, but it was like super purple. He's got a double cup. I don't know what else it would have been. But, you know, he's just kind of like slurring his speech. And, you know, I heard that him and his girl broke up again like 2 days after we did the interview, because she was there, like posted up, like, and I guess they had been through this dramatic breakup. And some of the stuff that I was talking to him about was super depressing, like him having his kid taken away by the state or whatever. And, you know, at one point I'm trying to like tell him like, you got to get your kid back, dude. Like, you can't be thinking about anything else. You got to just be focused on how to get your kid back.
Here, the point isn't courage as spectacle, but risk as the cornerstone of accountability, where speaking truth becomes an act of exposure, not reward. And if telling the truth puts the messenger in danger, the documentary forces viewers to face a deeper question. What does it say about a system so fiercely protected?
Not a good idea, right? Like, it doesn't really seem like he's in a state where he'd be able to
wait, I don't
take care
understand,
of a kid.
Well, okay, wait, but his girl was there with him.
Yeah.
So how did he get his kid taken away if he's with his girl still?
Well, I guess the kid got taken away from both of them. And went to live with her grandma.
Oh.
Which, you know, and I don't know if his girl has issues or if it was 100% him causing the issues, but I guess it's like, I mean, he tried to blame it on the fans, like reporting abuse or like reporting him, saying that he's on drugs, saying all this, yada, yada. But they did get in a big fight at one point. And then I don't know exactly what happened after that, but it's like, you know, I was trying to like urge him to like really focus on getting his kid back. I can't imagine that if I was in his position, I'd be thinking about anything else. But, you know, he was really in the middle of his addiction and everything. And one thing I thought was interesting that's kind of gone unnoticed is that in that interview, he fully apologizes to his brother Nick, and said, because he had said many times that Nick was a rapist and Nick had done all this terrible shit to all these people and yada yada. And in the interview, he basically acknowledges, oh, I was taking somebody else's word for that. I don't actually believe that that's true, which I found really interesting. I'm like, so you were smearing him for all these years just because you believed one random person? I don't know. But then there was a clip that came out last night of Backstreet Boys' performance where his brother actually like broke down crying, talking about losing him and everything. And it's kind of crazy to see that, you know, where I'm sure Nick to a certain extent had felt sort of, you know, plagued by his brother and traumatized by having his brother like really trying to smear his career for all these years, saying all this terrible shit about him, and then to see him go before they were able to ever really reconcile. But I mean, Aaron in my interview was saying that he would like to reconcile with his brother, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, that is probably a ways away until you know, there's gonna have to be some space between you having made all these accusations about him and him being able to accept you, you know. But yeah, it's just a super sad.
In its conclusion, the film deliberately avoids neat answers, refusing to hand down verdicts or simplify complex realities. Instead, it chronicles the imbalance between fame and safety, access and oversight, speculation and verified record. Beyond Aaron Carter's story, 50 Cent's documentary challenges viewers to confront what was allowed to happen around him and why figures like Diddy, alongside references to Justin Bieber, emerge within the same discussions of influence and authority. As the industry is finally forced to look inward, the film leaves audiences with a stark, unsettling question. Will it reform its structures or simply discover new ways to hide its silence?